What's going on, YouTube family? I am back with another full retouching video. I actually like doing these a lot because they allow me just to edit freely. So today I'm editing once again. You know, I know I'm a maternity specialist, so I'm editing a maternity photo. All principles apply when it comes to edit. It doesn't matter what type of photo it is, but I'm here to show you how to edit an image, full retouching video. We aiming for under 30 minutes today. So let's get straight to it. Now, always duplicate your layer. But before we go into that, I forget, make sure you download my free retouching actions below. And also make sure you download my free editing training below. If you want to edit faster, better, and better, make sure you download those free things below. So always duplicate your layer. You're going to hit Command or Control J on your keyboard. And the first thing I'm going to do is prep my image. When you're prepping your image, you always just want to remove blemishes. So we're going to go ahead and remove the blemishes. I am using the spot healing tool. Once again, you just hit J on your keyboard and you will find it. And I like to remove blemishes from afar just so I can see everything. Right. So I'm removing them right here. I make my brush about the same size and I'm just going in and removing, some hair spots from her. When you use a spot healing brush, you never want to go like a whole line down like that because it makes mistakes like that. So you hit Command Z to undo, but you just want to take your time and go in increments. Always in increments when you're using the spot healing brush, right? Same thing up here. We go in increments. Just removing these extra flyaways from mom's hair. And you can do the same. When I'm removing blemishes, I'm looking for blemishes that pop out from this distance. I'm not doing a beauty image, so I'm not going to go close up every single time, all right? Because I'm not doing a beauty image. I am doing a portrait image. So I feel like I cleared up her face pretty well when it comes to removing blemishes. Let's go and hit her arm. I see a blemish right here. I see some right here, right here as well. Let's come on this arm. I see some bigger dark spots that can be removed using this. Right here, we got some on her elbow. Move the elbow. And the spot healing brush is pretty easy to use. I see one right here. Spot healing brush is pretty easy to use when it comes to doing things like this because it does the work for you. The computer does the work for you. I do need to zoom in just a little bit to see. She got some marks right here. Boom, boom, boom. Looking good so far. I see some stains on the clothes, so let's move those. And let's come to the legs. I see a mark here. We're just going to get rid of these marks really fast. You want to look for marks that are like damage marks in a sense. Yep, damage marks in a sense. So we're just going to go ahead and move all these marks off of her body. I don't see anything on the floor. So we're just going to remove these marks. And we're looking good. Now, the second thing when you want to prep your image for skin smoothing is you need to do micro dodge and burn. And micro dodge and burn is included in my retouching starter pack. This is for you to use. It's already done. Make sure you go download that. So I'm going to go ahead and run my micro dodge and burn action. Is going to do all the work for me so I don't have to continue to create those layers. And then what I need to do is also create me a check layer. So I'm going to run that as well. And I'm going to show you guys why we run a check layer when we are dodging and burning. So what I'm going to do is come over and I just want to hit hue and saturation. And I just want to turn down the saturation all the way so I can see the difference in the shadows and the highlights. Now, remember, dodging is lightening, burning is darkening. So when we dodging, we burning, we are playing around with the shadows and the highlights of the face, right? We want everything to be seamless. So if you look in here, right, you see a shadow in the middle of a light and dark spot. You see shadows in the middle of light and dark spot. But then you also see dark spots in the middle of a highlights, right? Dark spot in the middle of highlights. And then, so the goal with dodging and burning is to make everything seamless. So it shouldn't be this dark spot, this shadow in the middle. This all needs to blend together. So with dodging and burning, you blend together the shadows and the highlights. With frequency separation or median separation, which is the action I use, you blend in the colors, right? Big difference. So what I want to do is make sure I'm using the right brush. I got to use my brush. You can hit B on your keyboard. You always want to edit with a 1% flow. If you don't, you're going to damage your image. You're going to edit on that, and it's going to look like that. That is not what we are going for. So you always want to make sure that your flow is at 1%, because dodging and burning is very destructive. So I'm going to just lightly dodge the shadows where there are shadows in the middle of highlights. So you may not see a big difference until you start doing the before and afters, which you just click your eyeball tool. So you want to make sure you're using a white brush. Opacity is 100, flow is 1. I'm just going to make my brush the size of the part that is not good. That's like a shadow. So we're going to do that there. As you see, I just did that there. And bag up just a little bit. Just looking for those spaces where like it's a shadow here and it's lighter here. This is not transitioning seamlessly. So if I just dodge this, as you guys see the difference, before, after, it's a way big difference. I see a light spot in the middle of this. This is not transition seamlessly. So we want to come in and we want to knock those out to be able to make that happen. Same thing coming here. Same thing coming here. We making sure we are doing this right. Just hitting those shadows and highlights to make sure we got everything going. So I am just coming in and knocking out where these shadows, where stuff does not transition smoothly, and these highlights where stuff does not transition smoothly. So remember, you burn the super light spots, you dodge the super dark spots. So that is what I am doing. I'm burning the super dark spots, and you have to be careful when you're doing around the nose, because this is what creates structure. This is what creates structure in the nose. So you want to be careful. If it's super dark, this is mean it's like a structure thing. This is not like a inconsistency in the skin thing. So what you can do is smoothly go over the edges just to make it blend in a little more. Just to make it blend in a little more. Right? Staying seamless and smooth when you do this, right? So coming in. Same thing here, coming in. Coming in her mouth. As you see, if I turn this off, before, after, you can see that stuff is transitioning smoothly now. It's not harsh transitions, as you see the areas that I fixed. So that's why I'm doing that. I'm going to go to her neck. I feel like her face is good. I'm going to go to her neck. Do I see any inconsistencies in the skin? You can check here. Let's check here too as well. Coming in right in here. Coming in, boom, boom. See some on her arm. You're mainly going to do a lot of dodging than burning. So that's mainly what you see me doing. Just getting rid of all those darker spots. So when I come and do my colors, I am not going to have to worry about, things not being right. I want everything to be seamless when I knock these colors away. So that is what I am doing now. This is really what you need to do when it comes to prepping your image. This is a very, very, very important part before you skin smooth, because if you just go and skin smooth and you don't prep your image, you're going to be moving shadows and highlights, and it's not going to look good. So you just want to make sure you knock out those super, super duper dark spots, out of your photo, so that you can seamlessly edit and you won't be playing around with too many colors and etc. So same thing in the legs. You see we have a lot of different dark spots in the legs. So I'm just going to come in slowly but surely, knock all these spots out, and your eye is going to get better. Don't expect to have the type of eye I have, because I expect to have myself to have a type of eye my mentor has. Your eye just has to personally develop, for you to be able to do what's necessary to edit your images better. So that is what I'm doing. I'm just looking for those dark spots. That's what I'm doing. You see we got a lot of dark spots in here. So we're going to knock those out so that when we do skin smoothing, we won't have no problem. Same thing, just coming in. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Just coming in. Making sure everything is correct. Knocking out those harsh. Look at the difference. Before, after. It's very important you prep the skin. I typically leave the knee how it is, because the knee is a bone structure, but I'm just going to knock it out just a little bit so it won't be as dark. Same thing here, knock it out just a little bit so it won't be as dark. You see that big difference there? Yep, just coming in and knocking these things out. Let's do it before and after. Before, after. Yes, that is perfectly what I am going for. So once we do that, I'm going to make a duplicate layer out of all of that. That's going to be Shift Option Command E, or Shift Alternate Control E if you're on a Windows. Now I'm going to run my skin smoothing action. That is what I use. That's also in my Retouching starter pack. Make sure you go and get that and use it, so you won't have to do no work at all. I just hit play and it's going to do all of the work for me, just how I like it. I'm going to separate the layers between texture and skin color. So that's perfect. Now, what you want to do is work on the color layer. In the color layer, we're going to be using the mixer brush. Copy these mixer brush settings now. Wet 30, low 30, mix 100, flow 20, yin yang 10, angle 0. And what I'm going to do, a big mistake I see people doing when they're editing, is they take the brush and they just paint over everything. Look at that. That is absolutely the wrong way to edit, because you make your client look super duper ashy. All right. That's not an edit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Look at that. The client looks super ashy. You move a lot of the texture. That is not an edit. The right way to do this. Let me show you guys the right way to do this. Make sure I remove all that nonsense. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to run my skin smoothing action once again. And I'm going to show you guys the right way to do this. Now, what you want to do is you want to take your mixer brush and you want to edit between the highlights and the shadows to blend them together. For example, we have, let's do an arm so you guys can see an example. We have shadow here, highlights here, but as you see, you can tell that it's a difference. So what I'm going to do is take my mixer brush, make it about the size, and all I'm going to do is blend in the shadows and the highlights. That's all I'm doing. I'm blending in the shadows and the highlights. Same thing on this side. Just blending where the two meet at so it can look like a seamless transition, which it is. I stay away from hands. I don't go crazy on hands. We can do the same thing on this arm. It is dark spots right here. So I'm just going to come in and blend these two together. As you see, this is a highlight and a shadow. So I'm coming in between the two, and I'm just blending it together to make it seamless. That's all I'm doing is blending my highlights and my shadows together to make them seamless. I'm looking for where there are inconsistencies and where things meet at. So like in here. This should blend in better. So what are we going to do? We're going to make it blend in better. Bingo. We can brush that down. Same thing on the belly. Shadow, highlight. So we're going to take our brush. Just going to blend in those spots to make sure we do everything right. Let's come down to the legs. Same principle for the legs. Shadow, highlight, shadows, shadows. So I'm going to take my brush, make it about that same size, and all I'm doing is blending in between this highlight and these shadows. Same thing here, blending between these highlights and these shadows. Same thing, blending in between the highlights and the shadows. Oh, the leg look beautiful. Coming down here, hitting on the knee. Up in here, just want to blend these highlights and shadows. You can't really see them in the form of like how this is shadow, shadow, highlight. So what I'm doing is mixing in the two and just following the same way of the leg. It's going down, blending, and coming on the other side, blending it together. Coming on this side too, do this leg right here. Just blending, never ever edit over the tattoos. Just coming in, blending all of this together. Okay, your whole goal is to blend. Blend, 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 people. Blend, blend, blend. That's all I can tell you is blend, 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 blend. Coming on this side, blending, 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 blending. I want everything to look seamless as I blend. This is why it's important to do the micro dodge and burn. Let's see how that looks. That looks beautiful. I can't wait to do the before and the after. I'm going to come up here. Let's knock out her chest too as well. Same thing for her face. It's blending, blending, blending. I don't like that because it made her look a little bit too ashy. So we are going to take that away. And we're going to, and also people remember, everything does not have to be edited. I just need to say that as well. A lot of people will, like, her makeup is great. So I'm actually just going to hit a couple spots where the seams are not transitioning smoothly. But people, everything does not have to be edited. Please remember that everything does not have to be edited. If your makeup artist does a good job, just touch the face a little bit. Now, we have finished that. Now, once we finish that, this is my super duper duper favorite part when it comes to editing, using my certified retoucher actions. So the first one I am going to use is going to be my lip pop action. It's already made. Come to my brush, turn my flow back to 100, make sure I'm using the white brush, and I am going to just paint over her lips to get that extra pop factor. Let's go before and after to show you. Before, after, her lips are pop. And I love running my eye widening action as well. This is like my run through. Like every time I finish editing, I just run through all of these actions. And I'll be good. Eye widening. After, and I, of course, got to make the teeth super duper white. So, I'm just going to paint over the teeth. Cool thing about action is everything is already done for you. Since all my actions are already done for me, I already have them ready, and they're ready for you too. They're already done. So, hair pop. I want to make her hair pop. These are all things that enhance images. So, see, making her hair pop. When you do the hair pop, you want to make sure you just paint over the highlights. That's all. Before, after, before, after. That is beautiful. Next thing we want to do is make her, if you have an eye pupil and let's say it's brown or it's blue or it's green, you can run the eye pupil act and you just will click it, run it, and you just will paint over her eyes. But of course her eyes is black and you can see it's more shadows, so we don't need to worry about that. My absolute favorite one is my skin glow action. So it's already done for me. I love this action. I just take it, make it a size, hit it in the highlights, boom, boom. Run it down the nose, boom, boom, on the chin. Run it down the arms, run it down the arms. Let's run that back, run down the arms. And you can change your glow however you want your glow to be. I am going to lower the opacity once I finish. Just hitting those highlight parts of the body. So as you see, I could keep it like this if I wanted to. That makes her skin glow tremendously, but I'm going to bring it down to about, let's go 65. 65 is great. And then we're going to run that jewelry shine. Just got to make the jewelry bling, 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 baby. Bling, bing. So let's go ahead and hit her earring. Let's do before and after on that. Oh, earring blinging. Let's hit her ring. Before and after on that. Ring blinging. Let's hit this necklace. Got to be precise with this. I'm using the editing tablet too, y'all. I say you got to be precise because if you fall over on the skin, oh, I just saw how much that was blinging already. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller. I'm just going to paint. Taking my time. Taking my time, taking my time. Boom. Let's go around the other way. Boom. And coming down up in here. Boom. Let's see how that looks. Let's turn this off. Before, after, before, after. Everything is bling, bling, blinging. Bling, bling, blinging. And I need to also run my background cleaner. The background is a mess, but before I run that, I have to prep my background first. So I'm just gonna remove a couple things. Let's move this out the way. I'm using the patch tool. I'm removing those big marks that are like you can see them, and then I'm gonna let my background cleaning action do the rest. And I honestly, if I really don't even have to do this with my background cleaning action, I really could just, you know, leave it how it is. Leave it how it is. Mm-hmm. We come in the middle of her legs. Let's clean this up a little bit more. And one thing I love about the way I edit is because you still see skin texture. I'm not an editor that's like want you to look super silky and plastic. I edit for naturalness. You know what I'm saying? So the next thing I want to do is I just want to take my rectangle marquee tool, hover over this, hit Command T on my keyboard, and let's get this up out the way too. Cool. Let's get that out the way. Then I'm gonna run my background cleaner. One of my other favorite actions because it just does the work for me. Like it's gonna do the work for me. It's gonna pop up and ask me how blurry do I want my background. I usually just hit okay. Anyways, letting it do its thing. It says it could not find the subject. So what we need to do, we need to just go ahead and make a layer out of all these layers. Shift Option Command E or Shift Alternate Command E, and then I can run my background cleaner. So once you run it, you want to click the background and you want to just kind of observe it to see how like clean you will want it in a sense. So I think this is clean because if I zoom in, I cannot see the dirt or anything. So I'm gonna hit OK. It's gonna do all the work, select the subject for me, and all I'm gonna have to do is paint on the floor to be able to make this happen. So let the action work, of course. Gotta let the action work. Gotta be patient with it. And we're actually at the 29-minute mark, just like I wanted to be under. This is perfect. This is like the last thing I do. So now that it's selected that, I wanted to select in between her legs as well. So what I'm going to do is go to the quick selection tool, hit the plus, and I'm just going to add into her legs. That's all. Because this is the background as well. So I need to add into her leg. I see it added on her leg. And I don't want to brush over that. So, and we want to hit this little spot that's in there. That is perfect. I see it's hitting on her ankle. So we want to add her ankle in there because we don't want her ankle to be colored or blurred or cleaned up, basically. I want to keep her ankle looking real. So I'm just coming in and adding that in. And with the spot healing tool, when you selecting stuff, it can be, you just got to work with it. It's like I'm doing here. I'm just working with it, taking my time. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my see y'all, see what happened? I am going to take my, yeah, that's good. Because we're only hitting the floor. So that's good. Take my brush. That's be on your keyboard. Make sure it's white. And all I'm going to do, this is where the magic happens. All I'm going to do is paint over the floor. That's all I'm doing. And you can paint over the background as well if you want. And then I hit Command D. And look at that. My background is clean. And I can lower the opacity just a little bit. Just a little bit. So that where it doesn't look fake. We're going to go about 50. And now my background is clean. And that's how you edit an image. I use all of my certified retoucher actions. You can download these, but in order to get them, you have to have the retouching starter pack first for free. And with that being said, make sure you go download my free editing training. This image is now done. I'm going to save this image because it's done. And make sure you go get that free editing training. Once again, thank you to everybody who watches my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, because I do get discouraged very often doing YouTube. So I just want to continue to bring videos to you guys to be able to help you. So I thank you. So please support me for free by just liking, commenting, and subscribing. And also, if you have a generous heart, go and download anything I have for free, just so I can continue to serve and help you. I appreciate you. Coach Jet out.